This is Saturday Morning Mysteries.
And we're your hosts, Alexis and Grace.
Hello, good morning, and welcome back to another episode of Saturday Morning Mysteries. We're your hosts. I'm Grace.
And I'm Alexis.
And we're back for our second episode of Magic School Bus. Forewarning, we're recording in the evenings. Things are already wild and wacky and weird. We usually record on a Sunday or Saturday morning. You know, it gets us in the spirit. Yeah. Also, we're 3 hours apart because of the time zone, so it's a little easier. Yeah. But you know, Alexis got on the Zoom
show
today,
must go on.
And her camera was somehow flipped upside down. One of my earphones didn't have sound. Like, I don't know what this episode's going to be about, except for a magic bus. Yeah. And a witch
and some kids.
And some probably worried parents, but I do know that things are wacky already. So with that, I'm just gonna let you take it away.
Yeah, and let's hope that I don't again just randomly turn upside down on the video feed for those who are watching the YouTube rather than listening. Yeah, so pray for us as we make it through this evening recording. It's been a long day here too, so
we'll see what happens.
We'll see, because I think that the events of this episode are going to, they're not boggle the mind, but they're gonna open up a lot of ethical questions that might make us have to stretch our minds a little bit.
Okay.
But I feel like as is per usual with this show, right? Like every episode is a non-consensual field trip in one way or another.
Yeah, a parent does not sign any form for these field trips.
Nope. And I think this one might be one of the least consensual of all. It is from season 1, episode 2 of the Magic School Bus, called For Lunch. So,
this is bringing.
I guarantee it's an episode that you are familiar with. Too.
Yes,
you particularly, Grace. But yeah, anyone who's listening and who is familiar with the Magic School Bus or watched it growing up probably has seen this episode.
Yes.
In this episode, the lesson plan of the day is focused on the digestive system. And the kids have been asked to consider and think about what happens to the food we eat.
Also, sorry, I thought you were going to say the kids have been asked to consent to having someone in their stomachs.
Go inside of them.
Like, I don't remember anything else about this episode, but I do know we end up in someone's stomach. So, like, I'm excited to figure out how we get there, what goes wrong, how we get out. Also,
how we get out is the biggest. Yeah, and who.
Yes.
So many questions. Already we're stretching our mind trying to think.
Yes, I'm opening myself to this experience. But all I remember is we end up in a tum-tum. So, okay.
Maybe don't open yourself up too much to it because, I don't really want to visualize being in someone's digestive system. But, true. Get ready. Get ready. Okay. It's great. We're going to learn a lot today, too. About, like the kids, what happens to the food we eat. So,
great.
While the Frizz is excited to get class started today, get this lesson plan and this demonstration started for the kids are actually a little more interested in a little project that Arnold and Wanda are working on. And that project is breaking the school record for length of time spent chewing the same piece of gum.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which interesting. I'm sure there's something in Guinness about that, but there's also something at this elementary school about that. There's this whole book, I'll add, of just records that have been set at this elementary school. Okay. And it's like a big thing and a big deal. Yeah, if you can break a record. For example, for this record, if you break it, the winner gets 2 tickets to ride a roller coaster called Action Mountain, which Wanda describes as like the most thrilling, twisting, and turning amusement park ride in town. And we see a picture of this ride, or like she kind of is imagining what the ride does in her head. And that demonstration shows us that it coincidentally replicates a digestive system. You know, like the hill going straight down is like the esophagus, and it goes through all these turns and curves like the intestines. Anyway, we'll talk more specifically about the digestive system soon, but just to kind of paint a picture for you that she just so happens to want to ride a ride that looks like today's lessons plan.
Cool. And sorry, are they
So
competing with each other to break this record, or
no,
is like just
no, they're
one?
working together, and I'll explain why in a
Uh,
second. I know it sounds gross, but I'll explain why.
okay.
I'm almost there. So
Okay. Great.
Arnold, while Wanda is super excited about this roller coaster, Arnold isn't really too thrilled because we know
Mm,
Arnold, he's a little shy and timid.
yeah.
And his classmates are very surprised about this too. Like, Arnold is helping you win 2 tickets to a roller coaster. Like, Arnold, what are you going to get out of this?
Hmm.
And Arnold says, my ticket is actually up for grabs. Like, someone else can do it. I'm just trying to help Wanda out. Because we learned that not only does Arnold really care about impressing Wanda,
Oh.
but he wants to see Wanda happy. And he knows that Wanda would be really happy if she could
Oh.
go on this ride. But it also turns out that Wanda specifically wants Arnold to go on this ride with her too. So she kind of
What?
brushes the whole thing off. I know it's adorable.
Oh
We
my
see
God.
a few cute moments throughout the episode where I'm like,
Oh,
oh, I
wait.
think Arnold has a little crush
Just
on Wanda, and it's so
precious.
cute. It's adorable. Yes. And so back to your question of, are they sharing this
Oh, yeah.
prize, or like, are
Back to
they
this.
working together here? Are they competing against each other? It's important to know that Wanda, she recently had a dental filling. So she claims that she's unable to actually chew the gum, which must
Okay.
mean that she just had the filling like an hour ago, because
That's, yeah.
like, I've had some fillings and they tell me that, like, yeah, you're good after an hour. Like, they've never
Yeah.
mentioned anything about like, don't eat or do, or like, I mean, yeah, there are things you shouldn't eat to avoid fillings, but no dentist has ever told me like, you can't chew gum once this is
Yeah.
like
And also,
done
like,
drying or whatever it does. Yeah.
what's the record in the book then?
I get to that in just one
Oh,
second
okay.
too.
Okay. I was like, is it like
Yes.
3 minutes? Like, what?
Week,
Yeah. Why does
week.
she need to get someone in there already? Okay.
Yeah. So yes, so she cannot chew the gum because of this dental filling.
Okay.
And instead, she, for whatever reason, thinks it's a good idea for accident-prone Arnold to take on this heavy burden of winning this prize that she so dearly wants to win.
Hate that you mentioned
And
accident prone and he's chewing gum. Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
And yeah, we know, like, from your episode last week too, like, Arnold doesn't have like the best luck with like doing things.
Anything.
I hate to say, like,
It's like
with
existing,
existing,
you know?
with like achieving things or getting stuff done. So to break this record, Arnold has he so far has been chewing the gum for 2 hours and 24 minutes.
Okay.
And he has 6 hours and 46 minutes left to go, meaning that the
Okay.
record is 8 hours and 1 minute to answer your
Okay.
question, assuming that my math is correct. Y'all can double check me.
Great.
I did it like I did the equation like
I
3 times to
shan't.
make sure, so I did not embarrass myself. And
Oh,
I'm
good.
pretty sure
Good
it's
for
8 hours and 1 minute, which also I think I might be able to beat that record. I chew gum a lot, whether I should or shouldn't.
you. Yeah.
And
We were girls
I
in high
can,
school. We could absolutely beat that record.
yeah, no, exactly. Get a little twirl in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the whole class, though, as they're listening to Wanda talking about this record, talking about how cool this roller coaster is, they're all starting to get a little bit more intrigued and excited about the challenge,
Mm.
except for our girl, Dorothy Ann, Little Miss, soon
What's
to be
she up to?
investigative journalist. She is standing there watching them like, I fail to see the connection to this, or the connection in all of this to today's lesson plan. Like, she is much more
She's like,
interested in learning about the
focus.
digestive system. Yeah, she's like, this has nothing to do with digestion. Excuse me.
Uh,
But Wanda, she tries to reassure Arnold and cheer him on and encourage him to keep going. And as she does this, she pats him very hard on the back,
Wanda.
causing him to accidentally swallow the gum well before reaching that record-breaking time.
Yeah, well before.
Well before. He's 2
6 hours.
hours 47 minutes in, or sorry, 2 hours 25 minutes in.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did not get close. But at first, Wanda, she's super mad. She's very upset. And she actually, for a split second, asks Arnold if he swallowed the gum on purpose, thinking that like he's playing her this whole time. He never wanted to ride the ride
Oh,
with you. Like,
no.
he never wanted you to win. So she gets
He was
pretty
always
mad.
working against you.
Exactly.
An
He was
inside
working
job.
with Tim the whole time. I knew it. That son of a bitch. But no, this was
We
definitely
look
her
over,
fault.
Tim's chewing his
Yeah,
own gum.
honestly, wouldn't put it past him. That son of a bitch, he's a sneaky one. So, no, this was definitely Wanda's fault, though. I'm thinking to myself as I
Yeah.
watch this, like, Arnold is accident prone, and you just smacked him
Yeah.
hard as hell in the back in the middle of him chewing gum. This was bound to happen.
Yeah.
But Arnold, he takes it like a champ, and he actually blames himself here, saying that, well, Wanda, you knew that I'm scared of breaking records, and you knew that I'm really bad at winning things, and you knew that I wouldn't be able to do this. It's so
Believe in
sad.
yourself.
And this gets to Wanda, because like I said, I think she does have a very soft spot for Arnold, because she does calm down and say, yeah, in a way, it's kind of a diss. She's like, yeah, you're right. Like, you suck at winning things.
Right. I
It's
should have picked someone else
okay.
to be my champion.
Exactly. She looks at, I don't know, Dorothy Ann, like, damn it, if you had the same drive for the digestive
That
system as
you
you did in
do.
chewing gum, you and I could go far.
We go places, kid.
But she eventually accepts and she says, it's okay. And says that she guesses that it's the end of her dream of riding Action Mountain.
Wow. It's
Yeah,
okay. You
right.
just
Like,
are bad at things and crush
just
my dreams.
it just ruined my dreams, but that's all right. I guess I'll still sit by you in class. But the Frizz chimes in. She sees all this going on and she chimes in and says, maybe the end of your dream, but it's the beginning of something else. And she gets a little twinkle in her eye as she
Hmm.
looks at Liz. And Wanda says, the beginning of what? And Miss Frizz says, the beginning of our next field trip. And of course, this excites all of the kids who immediately start to run outside to the magic school bus, except for Arnold, who still has his head hung low and just kind of slowly, sullenly strolls out of the classroom towards the bus. And so while all of the other kids are loading up into the bus to head onto or into
Oh
their
no.
next adventure, Arnold, he kind of stays back and he tells Mrs. Frizzle that he actually would rather stay back and stay in class today because he feels really bad for upsetting Wanda and he doesn't want to ruin anyone else's day. As we have said before, he is so prone to do, even like we saw last week when it wasn't his fault, but it was his annoying cousin Janet who kind of ruined the entire trip. And I'm pretty sure the class still hates him for that. So
Yeah.
Miss Frizzle, she's like, Arnold, I actually did need someone to stay back and watch Liz today. So why don't you do that? Why don't you stay here? Go ahead. And Arnold, he's excited. He's like, wait a minute, this seems too good to be true. But he
If something's
eventually
too
accepts.
easy, there's a reason why,
Yeah,
especially with the
no,
frizz.
exactly.
Nothing's
It's
easy
like
here.
a Faustian bargain, you know?
Yes.
Do you want to miss the field trip or do you want your teacher and like 7 of your classmates,
Yeah.
your closest friends to
Do you want
non-consensually go through your
do
body?
you want to miss the field trip or do you want to be the field trip?
Be the field trip. Take your pick. If you miss a field trip, that's fine, but then you are the field trip. Or you can go on the field trip and accidentally ruin someone else's day. Take your
Up to
pick,
you,
Arnold.
kid.
Take your pick.
Yeah.
So Arnold, he takes Liz on his shoulders and he excitedly runs back towards the school while Miss Frizzle boards the magic school bus and gets it all started up and ready to go. But the students, all the other students on the bus, they quickly become a little confused. Not so much that Arnold isn't joining them, but because once Miss Frizzle gets the bus started up, she doesn't do anything. They just kind of sit there for a minute. Like the bus is just idling right there in the parking lot in front of the school. And so they're wondering, like, well, wait, what does like sitting here have to do with the digestive system? And Miss Frizzle, like, hey, where are we even going? You haven't told us anything about this field trip we're about to go on. And the Frizz, she tells the kids not to worry, just wait one moment, and they aren't going far. And she says this as she's like holding on to the steering wheel, staring down good old poor innocent Arnold, who is standing on the front steps of the school.
Just looks like she has to run him over.
It does look like that, honestly, at first. Like, I'm pretty sure she has like this radar type system that drops down and like targets on Arnold and like locks in. So yeah, it looks like she's either about to run him down or shoot him down or something from somewhere.
Oh, yeah, something bad.
So she zooms in on Arnold, and at this exact moment that she zooms in on him, he happens to be opening up a bag of chips to munch on while he walks himself and Liz back to the classroom. Mm. And just as Arnold opens his mouth to throw a handful of these chips in, the Frizz shrinks the magic school bus down to a microscopic size and flies it right towards Arnold's mouth, launching the entire class inside.
Perfect.
Of his mouth, obviously.
Right. Yeah. Great. Perfect. So excellent.
The field trip, this is great. We love it.
This is fine.
How would you not love this?
This is totally fine. Now, right? What is the reaction of the children on the bus?
So it all happens so fast that they don't quite react until they're inside, which we'll get to in just a moment. They kind of like see things are happening and they're kind of like screaming and stuff like, whoa. But at this point, I think they're so used to the Frizz's bullshit, or I shouldn't even say bullshit, up to her antics for real, that they're just like, oh yeah, the magic school bus is transforming into something. We'll ask questions once we see where we are.
Do you think that after this experience, like, I guess I don't know if they learned that it's Arnold or not, but do you think they can look Arnold in the eye again after this? Like,
unfortunately, I think they can, which says a lot of fucked up stuff about these kids, because they do at the end. They love this. Okay. This becomes like the best day of their lives, as we'll get to. Like, I don't think it's spoiling anything to say that this is like the kid's favorite field trip ever. And Arnold becomes like class MVP in the end for it. So,
okay. Well, that's good.
So no trauma whatsoever will be endured by these children today.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good at least. Okay. That did answer my question then. Great.
Yeah. So, I mean, good for them, I guess, but also the parents, if they ever find out about this, should definitely get those kids psychoanalyzed, because it says a lot in a bad way about them.
A lot
that they're
of shit.
Cool with seeing the insides of someone.
Of their friend unconsentingly. Who
they're close to.
Yeah. And that he's also okay with it in the end, maybe.
He is, yes.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Maybe slightly less so, but again, we'll get there. So.
Okay, good.
So the field trip starts about as smoothly as you could expect it to, with the Frizz frantically driving the magic school bus through Arnold's mouth and past his massive chompers, trying to avoid being crushed or chewed on, or, as I will throw in here throughout the episode, a few of the actual scientific terms, masticated, which, you did know. Okay, good. Of course you knew that.
I think I learned that word from this episode, probably.
Robskis, yeah. Once I saw it, so they don't, well, actually, no, they don't say it in the episode. I did have to look that up. But once they said it, it was like a light triggered in my brain. Wait, why do I feel like I learned that? Because we probably learned it while watching this episode. Where like we got a worksheet that was like, which part is the mastication part? And I was like, that's when the school bus was about to get chomped, damn it.
Yeah. And also lots of like puns in various movies, et cetera, et cetera.
Exactly.
Et cetera.
Exactly. Mastication. I did laugh as I typed it out. It's like,
exactly. That's where we really learned it.
Yeah, we're mature. So yes, they try to avoid being masticated, like the mini potato chip fragments that are soaring by along his tongue and past his teeth as they're weaving through and bobbing and weaving through this traffic in his mouth. Mm-hmm. But to further escalate, or perhaps to initiate maybe a little bit of the trauma of it all, they then drive the bus clear down Arnold's tongue and right into his esophagus.
Okay.
Where they see the inner muscles and flesh contracting and stretching, which is called the process.
It's so much nastier. Because I'm like, it's going to be like cartoons and it'll be kind of red and pink and like beige.
Red and pink.
But I think the use of the word flesh.
Squelching. It's squelching. And it's dripping. Ralphie is turning green very quickly and saying, like, this is disgusting. And yes, now, once the kids get to the end of the tongue and start making their way down the esophagus, that's when they realize, oh my God, we're in Arnold. We're in Arnold's mouth and we're going, like, this is actually now a little scary.
Yeah.
So And yes, like you said, the description of those inner muscles doing that is disgusting. So I will use the scientific word instead, which is called the process of, them contracting and stretching is called peristalsis.
Oh,
And
okay.
this actually happens, I learned, in maybe all of the organs of the digestive system, but definitely in the esophagus and the stomach. And I think in the intestines. I don't know about the liver and the
Uh-huh.
pancreas because I don't really go into that in this. But
Literally, they don't go
yeah,
into
basically,
those
they
in
don't
this.
go into or they don't tell us about it. I don't want to know the things they saw there where the network had to make them cut it. Crazy, crazy
Yeah,
shit.
where's the uncut version of the digestive
Yeah,
system?
we
Digestion
want it.
uncut.
Uncut, exactly. Um, so the next stop, mentioning the stomach there with peristalsis, is yes, the stomach.
Okay.
And in the stomach, after going down the esophagus, they pretty quickly learn about the strength of stomach acids, such as
Mm,
hydrochloric acid, which is one of a few different acids that is naturally occurring in our stomach and that mixes around with food to digest it.
hmm.
And so this acid, it quickly starts tearing apart the magic school bus and it starts
Oh,
breaking down and dissolving all of the solid food bits that are floating around them and it turns them all into liquid. The food bits, not the magic school bus.
okay. I was like, what into liquid,
But
Alexis?
but given that this is very strong acid, this is a pretty dicey place to be for fleshy,
Yeah.
protein filled humans, in my
Yes.
opinion, not
Yes,
as a
very much so.
scientist or a nutritionist, but because these gastric juices that I mentioned that contain these acids, they are the juices and the liquids in the stomach that begin the process of protein digestion.
Mm.
So if you see the bus is starting to get
Yeah, if
broken
it's
down by these
going through
acids, the
metal,
humans inside exactly are probably in a lot deeper trouble than the bus is. So
yeah, if
again,
it
Miss
can
Frizzle,
burn
I've
through
got
a
to ask,
bus.
where was the consent? Did we think this through, Miss Frizzle? Did we think this through?
Did you just think you were just gonna hover this whole time and the bus just plunged in? What don't you know about the digestive system? Was this a surprise
She
to her?
does.
She learned as she
No,
goes,
she's ready. She knows. She knows to turn the bus into like a boat, into a submarine, into all sorts
mm.
of things.
But not into like
And
a anti-corroded, like
no,
anti-corrosive,
no. See, her
anti-acid bus.
her solution to that is to move quickly and get the fuck out of there. We cannot stay in the stomach long. We
It's a
gotta
good plan
keep it
B.
on going because yeah, once the kids start to see the food digesting around them, I think is Phoebe the student who's like
Yeah,
the perpetually new student or
yes,
whatever. At
yeah,
my
she's a new
old
girl.
school, we would never, whatever.
I
Yeah.
would never get burned alive by
I
stomach
would never.
acid.
Basically, that's what she said. She was like, but Miss Frizzle, at my old school, they'd never let us get burned by stomach acid or something like that. And they're asking, like, wow, so the stomach acid is strong enough to break apart the food. Is it also strong enough to break apart a school bus, though, Miss
Look
Frizzle?
outside.
Miss Frizzle? Frizz, where you
Wait,
at? But
Frizz,
no,
Frizz?
Frizz, please answer. But no, the Frizz does say, well, I don't know, but let's not find out. So yeah,
Okay,
she
okay.
speeds the fuck out of there and they head to their next stop. But a few more fun facts about the stomach
Tell
and
me.
the process of digestion that happens in the stomach. So, like I said, there are these acid filled stomachs or acid filled liquids in the stomach that begin
Uh,
the process of protein digestion. And as the chemicals in these acids and in the gastric juices that are all combined down there, they actually are strong enough to damage the stomach wall. But
that's right.
good Lord, our bodies are crazy things because the inside of our stomach is naturally lined with mucus and bicarbonates, which are like
Mm,
the opposite of acidic, the
yeah.
bicarbonates at least. And they are secreted by the stomach along the inner walls to provide a slimy
Oh,
layer that acts as a shield against the damaging effects of chemicals like highly concentrated
wow.
hydrochloric acid. Yeah, it's
Cool.
interesting.
Thanks,
It's like,
Tommy.
well, thank you, right? And also, I am too simple minded to understand how we can figure these things out. Like, I mean, obviously,
Oh, fucking hell.
Science is crazy and it's cool. And I don't want to know what we had to do to figure these things out about humans other than just like waiting for people to die and study their bodies.
You
But
had
like,
to have a magic school bus.
Start got dicey. Basically, this is how they found out. This episode was groundbreaking for many reasons.
Exactly.
But yes, so
cool.
At the same time that protein digestion is occurring, mechanical mixing occurs again by peristalsis, which is, like I said, waves of muscular contractions that move along the stomach wall. And so this allows the mass of the food, like the bulk of it, to mix more and break down more with digestive enzymes, which I am not going to list and don't have time to do. I am not a scientist after all.
No reason
I'll just say there are enzymes that help us digest our food.
Cool.
So,
heck yeah.
Yes, like I said, Miss Frizz, she knows all this stuff about the stomach and about the stomach acids. So to avoid dissolving into a liquid like everything around them, she quickly steers the bus towards their exit, which she describes as a valve connecting the stomach to their next stop. But when I looked it up, I learned that it's called the pyloric sphincter valve.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. The right one.
I feel like that's what I said when I found the name too. I was like, oh, that's it. I got to put this in. Grace needs to know. One
writer wrote the correct term and PBS was like, absolutely not.
Scratch it.
Valve.
Just say valve.
Yeah.
Put a pin in that too about like the network interfering in this, like the end of this, like the the producer thing is hilarious.
Oh heck yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm like, I got some questions about again the we saw how they entered. But yeah, how they get this on TV, and two, exit strategy.
We know how the digestive system begins. It starts in the mouth and it ends in one of two places down south of there.
Yeah, so let's find out.
So we'll find out which way they go. Put a pin in there. So, which was also, I will say too, like rewatching this for this podcast was the first time I've rewatched this episode closely in a long time. So my first thought when it started too is like, oh my God, we're about to see some little kids get shit out of another kid. I'm not ready for this or to cover this on our podcast. So
how do I do this?
A lot of reflection had to go into writing this.
As you started this one.
Yeah.
I probably haven't seen this episode since it came out, since I watched it in school or something, and I'm riding along this acid-filled journey. This is the Ken Kesey.
All sorts of acid. Yeah.
The Miss Frizz.
All sorts of acid was involved in this episode. So yes, from the stomach, they head through the pyloric sphincter valve.
Indeed.
Right into the good old small intestine. Cool. And so a few fun facts about the SI, if you will, before we talk about the magic school bus. I don't think anyone calls it that. I just didn't feel like saying it again. So most of the digestion of food, which is about, scientists say, 95% of all nutrient absorption takes place in the small intestine. And even though it's called the small intestine, it happens to actually be the largest part of the gastrointestinal tract, but it has a smaller diameter than the large intestine, which is why it has the name small intestine.
Okay.
Which seems, I mean, I guess it's fair because it's not called long intestine and short intestine. It still seems like a misnomer to me.
Yeah, it's still a little confusing. Although I can picture the like human diagram that we're going through here, and I can see the two intestines.
And it definitely is because it's like more squished up together, which sounds gross.
Kind of like a ball.
The large intestine is more just kind of like a upside down horseshoe kind of thing with a loop in it. Yeah. Anyways, so it's all natural. It's all part of human nature and anatomy. It's gross
and squelchy,
but and mucousy and has peristalsis and the sphincter valve, the names. But I guess we think the words are disgusting because of what they describe and not because just like the word sphincter on its own isn't gross, but it's because of what it means.
Right, because of like how we use or like what we've assigned it to.
Think of it. Yeah.
What it does.
So, So, which is natural, but most of the parts, the nutrient absorption, again, bear with me, it's late here. Most of the nutrient absorption occurs in the small intestine, and most of the partially digested food that makes its way out of the stomach and isn't actually dissolved into a liquid, it arrives at this stop in the digestive process about 1 hour after being eaten. So it takes about an hour to get through the esophagus, through the stomach, and then into the small intestine.
Okay, interesting.
And something that I read said that like after 1.2 hours, I think, or like to 1.4 hours, the stomach is totally empty from whatever you ate.
Interesting.
So,
I didn't realize it.
yeah,
I had no idea. Cool.
it took that long. Yeah, I was like, huh, interesting. It's down there for a while, and our
It's
tummies.
just working away.
Yeah, it's just mixing along with the acids, you know. So at this point, the Frizz, she puts the magic school bus in park, and she offers the kids some scuba suits so that they can hop right on out and go for a quick dip in Arnold's digestive juices so that they can analyze this step in the process up close and personal, Grace.
If there was a line in this whole situation,
it was crossed a few seconds ago.
Now, I mean, it was probably crossed from the jump, but when we were already in the situation, then we said, let's draw some lines. I feel like this is drawing the line of like, we were just viewing, but now we are
going in.
My skin is now touching your insides.
Like digestive juice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, my germs are now
your intestinal wall.
Yes. I could cause irreparable damage by my own hand right now. Wanda, don't be patting any backs. Don't be patting anything. You're too strong. We've learned. Gonna get a hole right in
Arnold is too weak, which means, hey,
we've also learned
this whole GI tract is about to fall apart.
If one kid makes one bad kick with that while they're scubaing.
Which, in hindsight, it is a good thing that they are doing this inside of Arnold as the clumsiest student in class. Because if this was someone else, Arnold would like trip and fall on something and like rip an artery
rip a hole
or some shit. Yeah,
You're right. Yeah, you really don't want a hole in your organs to leach out.
I think Miss Frizz has known all along. She's like, okay, well, wait a minute. We're gonna go inside one of the students' bodies. It's got to be Arnold. He can't go inside anyone else's.
He's way too dangerous than everyone else's. Yeah. She did a little bit of a risk assessment. You're right. She does that.
She did. She knows her students. She's a good teacher. So when the digested food particles are reduced enough in size and composition, they can be absorbed by the intestinal wall and carried into the bloodstream. And this is kind of what the Frizz is also explaining to the students as they're down there. And this leads Ralphie to kind of create a metaphor of like, or I guess maybe a simile, saying that the blood in our body is like a pizza delivery service that delivers energy throughout your body.
Okay, yeah, I guess, but like,
and I was like, I guess, but like, why you gotta compare blood to pizza, man?
And
Let's
you could have just said the blood
weird.
Delivers energy through your body.
Food to your body. Yeah, it's a kid show though. They gotta give kids like an easy thing to remember. Like, oh, I love pizza. I'll always remember now that blood is like pizza or something.
Like the marinara sauce.
Yeah,
pizza.
Exactly. And the white cheese is like to represent our bones or something.
That's right, our white blood cells.
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense. So
does it?
Yes,
no.
They get this. Not really. No, you're right. So they get this little lesson plan on the small intestine. They continue kind of swimming their way through, watching the nutrients be absorbed and carried away into the bloodstream by the villi, I believe, which are like little cells that have these like cactusy things in them that can collect all that excess nutrient and then send it off into the bloodstream in a way that I am not qualified to explain. And then into the large intestine they go.
Okay, are we still swimming?
Now, they are no longer swimming because when they get into the large intestine, they notice that it is much drier.
It's like a health hazard. Just try and be out in the large intestine. Get back in the bus.
Just out in the open, walking around, getting their dirty shoes on, everything, you know?
Get back on the bus, kids.
Getting all that dirt, kicking it up in there, you know? Well, I guess it's like super, super, super microscopic dirt, but, you know, it doesn't seem great either way.
Yeah, I don't like it.
So yes, they all take off their scuba suit helmets now that they're in here and it's dry, but as soon as they do, they realize the mistake they've made because they all immediately gag and choke on the horrible smell on this part of the tour.
Yeah.
Because the largest part of the GI tract, the gastrointestinal tract, it is the large intestine, as we talked about before, of which the colon is the main part, which I did not realize, or at least the main part of this part of the digestive process. And because I did not know that the colon was actually part of the large intestine.
I thought they were two separate things.
Yeah, me too. Which I mean, I guess like they kind of are because otherwise they would have the same name, but it is like I think it's one of the first parts of the large intestine. Like there's a couple steps in the large intestine that you go through before. Yeah, and the colon is like the main part of that process. I guess the second time I've ever heard this. First time, I guess, was in this episode, and I didn't realize it was not in this episode. They don't mention the colon in this. Yeah,
so this is the first time
you're hearing this. Yeah. And me writing this episode out was the first time that I had read it, I believe. Got it. Or that it was in my memory. I blanked out reading it in high school. Yeah. So yes, the reason it's dry in this area of their tour and their field trip is because this is where water is absorbed and where the remaining waste matter that has it made it through the stomach and it made it through whatever made it through the small intestine, whatever is left is now stored here in the large intestine prior to defecation, which is why it smells like shit in there.
And now how do they explain this in the show?
They don't say a thing about it. Well, so she does say that that water is absorbed here, and this is where excess waste matter is stored. I think that's all she says, but I don't think she says anything about like prior to defecation. She just kind of says like prior to its last stop, but kind of like doesn't explain what that is until they get there. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So just again, pens.
We're on our way.
We're making our way quickly through Arnold.
If I'm making our way through Arnold. Right and fast.
Colon's dry. Intestines large and poop bound. Lots of poop in here now. So sorry, but you were going to say something else before we sang.
I don't remember. Oh no, if I'm putting pins in this, it's just like putting pins in a voodoo doll is what I'm picturing because I'm putting them where the intestines are.
In his intestine.
Yeah.
In his stomach. So Arnold's just like keeling over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pins all up in Arnold right now.
Yep.
So in the large intestine, last little fun part or fun fact about the intestine in this part of the GI tract, the passage of the digesting food in the colon is a lot slower, slower than like the small stomach. Intestine and the stomach. Yeah. It takes, according to Wikipedia, and this varies obviously from person to person, but it takes from 30 to 40 hours until it exits the body, AKA until the human shits it out. Yeah. And I was like, that's got to definitely vary for some people. But yeah, that's like at least what Wikipedia said. And I should have checked the source, but I'm sure it was something legit. Probably. I trust the people's. Yeah. So at this point, like I said, the next stop is the exit, right after the large intestine.
Yep.
So at this point, the gang hits a bit of a fork in the road. Do they continue on the tour and exit the tour into a toilet? Or do they think of some other way to get out of Arnold's body?
And again, is this posed to them? Does Frizz say, we need to decide toilet or...
Yes, she doesn't say toilet, but she does kind of say, like, we can head to our next stop. But I think it's Dorothy Ann, again, our know-it-all, who's like, according to my research, that means... ... and the kids all piece it together at that point. Like,
that's so
wait
funny.
A minute. Okay. Can we pause here? Let's key for a second and kind of figure out what we're doing next before we just go, because I don't like that option. I don't like that exit in particular.
What are all of our options? Let's consider.
Exactly. And to add a little stress to the situation, they kind of have to choose quickly because they look down at their clocks and realize that lunchtime is coming soon. Arnold is getting hungry, and they don't want to have to fight through a bunch of food on their way out of here.
Yeah.
So if they leave their way out of here, whether it comes before them or whether they decide to like turn back around and leave through the front door. And Tim chimes in at this point, and he offers up another option. because he's actually been studying this whole digestive system very closely, and he's been kind of drawing it out in his sketchbook as they've been making their way through. And so he has this very detailed map now of Arnold's innards. That
Arnold, I got you a present when I was inside of you.
It's drawn to scale. If you've ever wondered what it looks like in there,
here's what you look like.
Yeah. So yes, he's got this very detailed map, and he explains to the kids that the digestive system is basically one long train that goes out and that has one entrance and an exit. But all that they have to do now is do exactly what they did to get to where they are now in reverse. So he explains that all they have to do is go back up the large intestine, back to the small intestine, into the stomach, force their way back up the esophagus, and burst triumphantly out of the mouth.
Great. Amazing. Flawless.
We love it. Watching this, I was a little concerned because I was like, are they about to make Arnold barf everywhere?
Yeah.
To get out? Because I'm not so sure that that's that much better than winding up in the toilet. It is better, especially like it's all about perspective here. Like think about what you're seeing as it happens. But that's pretty fucked up still, making your friend throw up.
Yeah, the perception of what you're seeing on poop exit, traumatizing. But the risk factor of making your friend throw up is he puking up some acid, some stomach acid, which means as you're riding that wave up, that bus is melting. So you better hope you get out of there before you just fall into the acid. Yeah.
Good luck.
So that's my thought. Pretty risky. Pretty risky. Yep.
Yes. But I will say, and I felt a little bit like, oh, duh. There is one other thing that can happen when all of the stuff makes its way out in reverse. Not throwing up, but I actually just kind of did it because I'm getting a little hungry, is burping.
Clearing your throat. Oh, okay.
Burping. Which, I mean, I don't know. I'd have to do a little bit deeper research on that. But like, can you burp up something that's like coming from the large intestine? Like, I feel like it doesn't generate from down there. I don't know.
I with zero authority am gonna say
we're not qualified.
But I'm gonna say if like something's coming up from that deep down, you need to go to the hospital. That's all I'm gonna say. You're dying. You need to go to hospital immediately, or you have the alien in you and it's about to burst out of your belly.
It's a fucking face hugger, like from Alien. Just
exactly. Just out from the belly. That's the only other thing. Yeah. So again, you're dying. That's all I have to say about this.
That's all I gotta say. So good luck with that. Frizz, hope you're ready for those hospital bills.
Stay off my spaceship. Thank you very much.
So, yes, Tim explains this all to his class and to his teacher. And the Frizz agrees. She says, basically, like, it's crazy, but it'll work. But she tells the students that they're going to have to fight their way. She knows. She's like, it's crazy. God damn, you're right, Tim. But she does tell the students that it's going to be tough. And they're really going to have to fight their way out because, as they have now learned, the digestive system pushes things down. That's the way it's designed. It's not designed typically to push things back up and out, unless, of course, you're throwing up, which is not ideal and or supposed to really happen.
Yeah.
So while the Frizz and the students are field tripping through Arnold's digestive system, brainstorming the way to exit him without his knowledge, of course, or without landing in a toilet, you may be wondering, what has Arnold been up to all morning, right? Like he's not still standing on the steps eating those chips. Yeah, him and Liz have been hanging out in class. And it's so adorable. And again, makes me realize like, oh, I think he's got a very soft spot for Wanda, and it's very cute because he feels so bad about upsetting Wanda that he has now dedicated his entire day off to breaking another school record. Any school record at all, not because he thinks it's going to win them a ride on Action Mountain, but just because he thinks it's going to impress Wanda and earn her affection and praise. And also it's going to redeem his image, with the rest of the class. If he can finally do something right and win something.
You know what? He's right.
Cute.
He needs to do something and redeem himself. He's right.
Yeah, you kind of fucked up.
Wanda wants
if you
a
hadn't
winner.
swallowed that gum, your classmates wouldn't be in you right now.
He would be invaded right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But while that is adorable, at the same time, it is unfortunate that, when you realize that Wanda is actually kind of ethically betraying Arnold right now, in the sense that he's totally unaware that she, and to be fair, his teacher and the rest of his class are driving and swimming through his intestines at present moment. So he's so fixated on impressing her while she's just having the time of her life swimming through his guts.
She's not even thinking about him, and she's literally inside of him.
Which also, there's so many double entendres going on here in this episode that I knew would happen. And
I know. I'm glad we've acknowledged this in this mature way of just saying, let's acknowledge it and move on.
And keep going.
Yeah.
But it's funny that you say that, because Wanda actually is thinking about Arnold down there a lot, because, like I said, she's having the time of her life on this field trip, okay? So through every organ, she keeps saying, God, Arnold is the best. He's got, the strongest stomach, or, wow, Arnold's digestive system really knows how to get things done.
She's going to have insane standards when she grows up.
Will you let me take a field trip inside you? Which also, again, that could be a pickup line. Play that gently if you use that on someone.
Smoother.
But I don't know if I would hate if someone asked me that if things were going well, Take a field trip inside you.
Yeah. I mean, let us know if it works. It probably will, everyone.
We'll see. It probably will. Yeah. So, but she's loving it. She's having a lot of fun down there, which is cute, because while Arnold is in life-size world, not freaking out, but nervous about impressing her, we then see that juxtaposed with Wanda on the inside. Arnold is the coolest.
So
this
impressed.
Is awesome. Yeah. So she actually might not have high stand. I think Arnold is it. That's it. This is it. That's in game now. She's like, I never want to go inside of anyone else.
I'll never see another stomach like this.
Yeah. So, anywho, the record that Arnold is currently working on is the record for most lunches eaten by a student at their school.
Oh, no. Of all the ones to pick.
Exactly. You picked up. Thank you on that.
Okay.
And since he's the only one in class today, he decides to go ahead and kind of take a peek at some of his classmates' lunches to see if there's anything that he could sneak away with there, and anything that he could eat to add to this record-breaking attempt. So back on the Magic School Bus, though, inside of Arnold, the kids and the Frizz, they're making their way through intestines, going to the stomach and heading back up to the esophagus. But to do this, for whatever reason, the Frizz decided to turn the bike into a submarine, which makes sense because they got to go through a lot of juices and stuff. But the submarine is propelled by stationary bikes that all of the kids are chugging along on, breaking sweats on, which is pretty ethically questionable yet again.
I was going to say.
The labor of it all, the forced labor of it all. Yeah.
The unconsenting of it all.
Yeah. And the do this pedaling right now or else we will die.
We will die.
AKA get pooped out of this kid.
Get flushed down a toilet.
And be tortured. Yeah.
Great.
So, little strange, but whatever. The kids are doing it. They're huffing, they're puffing, they're breaking a sweat. And they are able to pedal their way all the way through both intestines and back through the pyloric sphincter valve and into the stomach. And this now is when they face the most difficult part of their journey, which is bad news to the kids because they're all sweating, heaving.
You got more work to do.
There's more. That was the easy part. What? And yes, the most difficult part, as the Frizz explains, is forcing their way through the esophagus.
Yeah.
And this, again, is because they now have to go against the process of peristalsis, the stretching and contorting of the throat muscles, and the forcing literally of food down into the stomach. Like, again, it's very hard to force food back up unless it's, throwing up, which exactly, which is not ideal. So what makes this even more difficult is that it's even closer to lunchtime now. They all look down at their clocks and they're like, oh shit, Arnold is probably literally reaching for his lunch as we speak. And they know Arnold never misses a lunch. So they now know that if they don't find a way to force themselves up soon, they'll have to also push past whatever Arnold is about to eat.
Yeah.
And Grace, speaking of pushing, these kids, particularly Wanda, are willing to push some more ethical bounds here in order to escape from inside Arnold. Nothing is off the table. Okay.
Just get pooped out, you guys.
I know at this point, it's like you guys are really messing with your friend. And this is you're going to look back on this when you're older and you're going to regret it. Yeah, exactly. So we then go back to the life-size world where we see, again, Arnold. He's combing through the classroom looking for his lunch, growing in hunger, and not having any luck finding where he left it. So now he is leaning even closer to eating someone else's food. Okay. And he's like, well, maybe, just maybe, if I eat part of Ralphie's lunch now, that'll hold me over until I can find my own, or it'll at least give me the energy I need to think of a good excuse of why I ate Ralphie's food when he inevitably gets pissed off at me for eating his food when they get back.
Also, though, I'm like, Arnold, you can do anything at this point, because from here until forever, you can say, oh, I ate your lunch. Remember when you were in my stomach?
Yeah, that was pretty fucked up, wasn't it? Like, don't even try to tie it. That was fucked up. Yeah. Give me your whole bag for crying out loud. Yeah. So, yeah, Arnold, he knows that eating Ralphie's food is not the right thing to do, or not like a nice thing to do. And he does know. Exactly. Someone here does. Jeez. Yeah. Because he knows that Ralphie is going to be pissed at him if he finds out that he ate his food. So he takes some time to weigh his options before he, he's like, well, let me just look and see what he has in here before I actually, and he keeps like trying to think on it, trying to weigh the options, listening to his conscience. But something strange happens. Suddenly, a soft, distant voice calls Arnold's name, like, Arnold.
Also, is it really hard for you to do that without imitating the like, Hey Arnold theme song?
Hey Arnold, it did sound like that. Yeah, it did.
In the background.
Did you accidentally do that? And there is a point where one of the students says, Hey Arnold, in this episode. And I was like, I heard it. Did anybody else catch that? I love it. Yeah. But yes, so Arnold hears this voice.
Does he think
seemingly
this is his
coming from his stomach? Well, at first he's like, well, that's weird. I've heard my stomach grumble, but I've never heard it talk before. So at first he thinks it's his stomach. But then the voice chimes in and says, no, I'm your conscience. So, yeah.
Genius, but horrible. Yes, correct.
But really mean, yeah.
Yeah,
because,
horrible.
Yes, Arnold,
yeah,
and Arnold, he falls for this. A few times here. The line, the limit to crossing the line does not exist. It's over. Yeah. Again, the limit was when Miss Frizzle like put a target on Arnold and like had the radar system locked into him. I was like, this is already really
the beginning
concerning.
Of the end.
Yes. So yeah. The voice tells Arnold that she is his conscience, but we, the audience, quickly see that it is actually Wanda speaking over the bus's intercom system to Arnold. And eventually she's able to convince Arnold, who again thinks that she is his conscience. She convinces him to put down Ralphie's lunch and tells Arnold that he actually isn't even hungry. He's probably just thirsty.
Oh, there's some like psychological torture happening too.
I know. And also I was like, ooh, yikes. It's like, that's also concerning. It may be true, but like someone wants to eat, just fucking let them eat. Like they can drink and eat
just
too.
Get pooped out.
Yikes. Exactly.
Just get pooped out.
It's mean. Like also let the man eat. He's hungry.
Let the man eat. He's going through enough.
So his conscience tells him that instead of eating Ralphie's food, he can just drink the bottle of seltzer water in Wanda's lunch instead.
Mm.
But at first he's like, okay, I guess maybe you're right. But then he pauses and he starts to question and become suspicious of his conscience because he's
Oh
like,
no,
well,
he's about to have
why
mental
is it
break.
okay? I know. Ooh, this poor kid. But he's like, well, why is it okay for me to steal from Ralphie's lunch? Or why is it not okay for me to steal from Ralphie's lunch,
Mm.
but it is okay for me to steal from Wanda? And
Couldn't
Wanda
being a
says something
feminist.
funny, like, I know. Wanda says something funny like, because Wanda's much nicer than Ralphie and won't freak out when you when you do this. And
Mm.
Ralphie's like right behind her, like looking at her like, hey, how
Hey, what
mean.
the?
But anyways, at this point, they know that their time is running out. All the students in Miss Friz do. So she's on a short fuse and she's not willing to entertain any of Arnold's musings, and
Uh-huh.
arguments and debates with his conscience anymore. And she's ready to get the fuck out of this body. So she
Yeah.
snaps at him and tells him to just go ahead and drink it, to which Arnold complies.
Oh,
And
he's
when the
bossed around by his
seltzer,
unconscious, he
I
thinks.
say how mean, I know. This kid cannot catch a break. Again, like,
No.
yeah, the trauma isn't the students on the field trip here. Like, they're not traumatized by this experience. Arnold,
Yeah,
though, he's got a good case, all
he's
right?
having a bad
Like,
time.
this is gonna stick with him for a long time, too long,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
So when the seltzer reaches Arnold's stomach, the class begins rocking the bus back and forth to create a giant gas bubble
Oh
in
my
the
God.
acid. Which again could be dicey. Like you could ask for a
You don't
little
know
bit,
what's
you can
about to
bite
come
off a
up.
little bit more than you're chewing here,
Yeah.
pun intended. So a bubble forms and it quickly carries the bus up the esophagus. And moments later, Arnold lets out a deep, loud burp, not knowing or realizing that the
Wow.
bus is also forced out of his mouth in the process.
Great.
So, only a few short moments later, Mrs. Frizzle and the rest of the class, they return to the classroom, excited, yelling and cheering with joy, right in the high of their recent exciting field trip and
Uh-huh.
their dastardly escape. And the Frizz hands Arnold a massive plate of food for him to enjoy for his lunch. Which I mean seems like the least she can do. She's like, yeah,
Yeah. Also, like,
you
are
probably
all the
feel a
kids
little
now like
famished. Like
watching him eat and he's like,
Dorothy Ann's taking
hey,
notes. Tim is like
we're added to the
painting the
drawing.
digestive
Yeah.
system. Yeah,
He's like,
exactly.
hey guys,
Yeah.
what's
What's up?
up?
And that is kind of like his reaction because at this moment, like while he's munching down on all this food, Wanda, she runs up to him and gives him a literal trophy for breaking the record for being the best field trip ever, which is a very fucked up way to tell your friend that you took a non-consensual tour through their digestive system.
Yeah. I imagine this
Like,
conversation of
hey,
like,
I've got good news and I've got bad news. Which one do you want first?
yeah. Well, it's good news and good news for me. It's kind of
Yeah.
bad news for you. Also,
Yeah.
like imagining this conversation of just being like, here's a trophy for being the best field trip. And he's like, oh, do you mean going on the best field trip? And she's like,
No,
no, being
being.
the
Yeah.
best field trip.
Yeah.
It's
And
you.
that's basically when he asks, like, wait, where did you guys go? And then they just kind of like look at him, like, look at the trophy, look at
uh,
Arnold.
uh,
Uh,
uh, uh.
and he's like, you went inside of me. And then the kids just all start laughing, Grace. They just laugh at him.
Can you imagine explaining this to your psychologist in 20 years? Like,
No, can't even
no,
explain
they
it
went
now or imagine it
inside of
now.
me.
No, they went in me. And
They
the
were
psychologist would be
part of
so
me.
confused. Like, in you, like, you mean, like,
Psychologically
yeah, or do you mean like they, like, you brought in an x-ray of yourself and they
yeah,
studied your x-ray?
and laughed
No,
at it.
I ate them.
They went down my throat. Oh, they like choked you? No, they were
No,
in my
they were in my, they were
they were in
inside of me.
me. What else do I need to say?
And like having to describe it in all these ways is just bringing back the trauma of it all for
Yeah.
him. Poor boy.
He's had a lot of psychologists quit on him.
Yes,
A
many
lot.
times.
A lot.
And so, yeah, Arnold, admittedly, he doesn't take the news super well. He kind of is like, oh, at first, but seeing how like happy and impressed all of his classmates are.
Oh, Arnold.
Wanda saying that it was literally the best field trip of her life and that going through his digestive system was more fun than riding Action Mountain ever could be.
Oh my God.
Getting a massive hug from Wanda as she's saying this too,
Arnold
by the
needs
way.
more self-worth.
Arnold brushes it off. He's going to get it now though, because he's going to remember this moment when he felt like a king amongst all of his peasant classmates who were too shitty to tell him that they were going to go inside of him.
And let anyone stomp on him. That's how he's going to get on top. That's what he's learning.
That's how
you
win. Exactly.
Arnold.
So, he brushes it off and says, he promises his class and Miss Frizzle that he will never, ever miss another field trip again. I will not tell my parents or their lawyers if you bring me lunch every day for the rest of the school year, minimum. Yes, and so that's the end of like the main episode, the field trip, and all of that.
Honestly, crazier than I remember. I guess I didn't have ethics either as a child, but like
so like back then it seemed like
I was like,
this would be a really fun thing to do.
Yeah, but now I'm like, wait, what?
Wait, this is super fucked up.
Wait, hold on.
Wait, great, huh? Wait, what? So yes, we then get like our ask the producer thing at the end.
Is this the Magic School Bus
hotline? Is this the Magic School Bus? I'm on the Magic School Bus. And in this episode, so last week you had the male producer who voiced by Malcolm Jamal Warner. I didn't even look up who the female producer is. I do still have the page open though.
Oh, there's a female producer?
Find it real quick. There is. She's like an older Asian, not older, but she's an Asian woman. And so I think we actually even talked about last week.
Yeah, but I thought it was just in like the later iterations. I didn't realize it also happened during this one.
So did I. And it did surprise me to see her already in this episode. I'm trying to look up who voices her. I don't think it was anyone who I remember.
Yeah, when I saw it, I didn't remember looking into it.
Susan Blue. Susan Blue. She's not in anything that I've. Scooby-Doo. And there's that. Everybody's in Scooby-Doo.
All right. True.
It's a great thing. But anyways,
okay, cool.
We in this episode we do get. Yeah, me neither. I thought that she was in like the later seasons, like you were saying, but I guess they probably alternate. Maybe. Did you?
I read Wikipedia and so nothing innocent? Else.
That's so great. But anyways, so she gets you. So she gets a call from yet another, little boy who just rips into her, pointing out a number of mistakes and inconsistencies and inaccuracies and fake science that they wove into this episode. So, for example, the boy tells her that no food can go through the body that quickly, and that, as we talked about before, the digestive process takes way longer than what was depicted in this episode. And the producer is like, I know it can take up to 10 hours in some cases. And tells the boy that they tried to pitch Digestion, the miniseries, but the network wouldn't pick it up.
Wait, that's very funny. I like that a lot.
She's like, they wouldn't buy it. And so then the boy asks her, what about all of the lights inside of the body? Like, AKA, how could we see everything that was going on in there? It's supposed to be dark. There's no light inside of your digestive system, right? And so the producer agrees, like, I know, obviously no natural light reaches the digestive system. And yeah, you're right. It would have been way easier to do Magic School Bus, the radio show, and it would have been cheaper too. Like, now she's just kind of fucking with them, obviously, which again, that's what you got to do. Match their energy. Like, all right, if you're a little shit, let me teach you a thing or two about television. All right, kid?
Yeah. Hey, kids, sit down. Yeah. You watching something on TV right now? You're welcome.
You're welcome. I'm entertaining and educating you. So the kid further argues that the digestive system does sometimes work in reverse, like we've said many times today, such as when you throw up. And he finally complains about the ride through the human body not being completed since it didn't make its way out since the bus didn't make its way out with waste products like we talked about. And the producer acknowledges this. And she's like, yeah, I know. You don't have to say it. It's normal. It's natural. Everybody poops.
Everybody does
I get it. It makes its way out through as feces. I get it, through the anus. She does actually say the word anus too in there, which I thought was funny, but hey, she's right. But then she says, but did you really think that we'd air that on daytime television? Which to me just summed up this whole episode. Because going into it, I was like, oh my God, they're going to show a little kid poop out his teacher and his friends on daytime television. I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for this. And then, and it made me realize just how the producer at the end of the episode, I feel like is really for the adults who are watching with their kids funny. Or whatever. Because it clears up all of the stuff that you can't explain, like in your episode last week about Pluto and everything like that. Like it clears up the stuff that like adults probably know. And it is very sassy and witty, and they're willing to like say things that like we as adults are thinking watching this show, but as kids we're like, oh wait, like we wanted to see them get pooped out. Why couldn't they show that? And adults are like, no, they're not going to show that on PBS on a kid show. Yeah. So and that's the end.
Wow, that was incredible. I'm so excited to go watch this. This was better than I remembered it, which I have a feeling is like gonna be this whole show, because I already have like a perfect like this show was perfect, and now it's just making it more perfect. Great job.
Thank you. Yeah, watching it as an adult who like kind of understands the things they're talking about actually is funny, you know?
Yeah.
It's one thing to like think of a fun way to teach kids these concepts, like about the solar system, about the digestive system, and each episode has its own lesson plan, but it's also just funny to think about like, all the things they have to cut out or like kind of just gloss over,
work
because
around.
That's too much for kids and or for a 22-minute runtime. So, because like obviously the liver or the pancreas, like there's a lot of other stuff that's involved in the digestive system
the
that
cutting
they
room
did
floor
not even
is so
mention.
squelchy.
Exactly.
All those organs they didn't go through.
They can only swim through so many digestive fluids. Yeah. And that's that. So
wow, great job.
Yes, thank you. And in the meantime, while we all digest this episode,
did you write that down?
I didn't. I did not. My script is closed.
Wow. That was beautiful.
Yes. Thank you. Just a little back pat there. But who should they tell about this episode?
I think you should tell, and I don't know if this author's alive or not anymore. I could have looked it up, but I shan't. You should tell the author of Everybody Poops. And or the publishing company that publishes it. That's definitely still around. I got friends who got kids. They got that book on that shelf. So it's still number one bestseller, I'm sure. Tell the author and or publishing company. They'll appreciate this show working around what their entire thesis is, which is Everybody Poops.
Yes.
And after that,
wonderful.
Who should our listeners and viewers tell about this show?
After that, I wish I knew the exact name, but it's like a gastrointestinal internist or something. Like, I don't know, the doctor,
like gastrointestinal
tell
doctor.
The doctor, internal medicine, whomever, to tell the doctors that focus on the digestive system in particular. Yeah, beautiful. Tell them. Yeah.
Perfect.
See how much they got right in this episode or how much they skipped out.
Oh, we know a lot.
They skipped a lot, as we know.
What they got right. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, that's probably the better part. So, yes. But until next time.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in to Saturday Morning Mysteries.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share, rate, review, leave us a like, and drop a comment. We post episodes every Saturday and bonus tune tangents whenever we feel like it. So please subscribe so you don't miss the shenanigans.
And if you want to follow us on YouTube, click the bell under the YouTube subscribe button to receive notifications when new videos are posted.
And if you want to subscribe to the podcast, we have no idea what you're listening to us on, so just hit the big subscribe button on whatever app you're using. We believe in you.
Give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at SatmornMist, all the abreves, and let us know if you have any episode or show requests by emailing SaturdayMorningMysteries@gmail.com.
Thanks to Jenna Kendall for the logo design and to Ava Sakiki for the music used during this week's episode.
See y'all groovy kids next week on Saturday Morning Mysteries.